WV Uncommon Place. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate theories to get to know the hosts, along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episode. The Uncommon Place digs into bringing guests on that stories don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacey and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to our Uncommon Place.
Greetings, everybody. My name is J.R. Sparrow, and you know me by now. But I've got something interesting. I have a guest that comes on here, that's coming on here. I said that comes on here, but it's coming on here. Um, and this person has an array of music and has a story that's kind of wild. But one thing in particular, the word GoldenEye. GoldenEye is synonymous with people my age. I'm 40, so we had this thing called the Nintendo 64. So GoldenEye, we don't even care about the movie for real. But when you say GoldenEye, that's a game. That's something that sticks with us, and it's something that is embedded in every 40-year-old person's mind, male, female, or however you divide. And this person that is coming on has a James Bond feel to them, along with a overtone, undertone, or however you want to go with the tone, jazz driven music fusion, just with dance and EDM all around this person. And this young lady that is here with me today, her name is Kendra Erika. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Well, now you're on the show today. And the nostalgic question would be like, oh, what brings you here? But this is what I want you to do for me first. I want to know one lesson you learned from a grandparent.
One lesson that I learned from a grandparent. Well, I will say that my that three of my grandparents passed when I was by the age of 9. And then my remaining grandmother, she passed August of 2024. So, but one lesson that I will say that's been so integral is the lesson from my grandmother on my dad's side. Because she was a professional golfer and she played all throughout high school and all throughout her school years. And and back in her day, there were no girls teams. So she played on the boys team and she was like the star player of the boys team. So she has she has just by her story and her journey alone has taught me so much about like tenacity and perseverance and resilience, and also that you can be a strong woman without being a hard ass, but still have like a femininity about you and just be not necessarily soft, but just like an innate feminine strength.
And I like that. Now, let me ask you this about your upbringing. Tell us a little bit about how life started for you and what got you involved in music. And tell us a little bit about some hearing problems, if you don't mind.
Oh, well, so I was born tone deaf at a young age, and I've overcome that by when I was little, when I was like 8 years old, I was introduced to a German operatic coach who
Oh,
laid a foundation. And because I was so young and so amenable to the training, I was able to absorb it so easily. And and from there, it built a foundation for me to build upon and to have longevity.
okay. Now, tell us a little bit about your upbringing. What got you involved with music? Like, what was your first memory of realizing that music mattered to you? Because I'll give you a little filler real quick. Here's,
Mhm.
I'm an older person than you, but not by much, but by enough. In my
Yeah.
day and age, there was a R&B singer named Bobby Brown.
Uh-huh.
Brown was, and this is a feat that he had that marveled me as a kid. He had an album. He had Tenderoni and all these other songs on it. Well, he did a remix album and he is the first and only person to have done this. I mean, they're going to say other people did it, but he was the first to do this. He did a regular album and a remix album, and they both went platinum.
Wow.
And the music, when you heard what was remixed and what was redone, was very amazing to me. And I was just like, whoa, 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 whoa. So, please tell me about your first memory of realizing music mattered to you.
Well, when I was younger, I always wanted to perform and to sing and all that, and I needed to work out my skill set before I could even move forward with it. So I just always had a love for it, and I'm super fortunate that I was introduced to the right people to cultivate that.
Okay. Now, from this part on in life, you go into middle school and high school. What was music's influence in middle school and high school for you?
What were the what?
What was what was your musical influence when you were in middle school and high school?
Oh, middle school and high school. My musical influence. Well, it's funny because I was dealing with both worlds because I was a teenager growing up in the, 2000s or, Y2K.
Yes.
And as much as I loved the sorry, that was my publicist calling me, and she knows I'm on this podcast. So, but I was dealing with both worlds because I have like this love for like the Lady Gagas and the Cascadas and all this dance music, current dance music. But then on the side, I was gigging in restaurants like old Italian restaurants and also just venues in Boca Raton, Florida, where the clientele is from New York, New Jersey. So they like that. They like the Sinatras, the Billie Holidays, the Dean Martins. They Aretha Franklin. So they love those jazz standards and those old American songbook classics. And I was singing those as well as in addition to some of like the operatic classics and the legitimate stuff and the Broadway stuff. So I wasn't really listening to like one particular area or a genre. I was just exposed to like a whole like mashup of things.
Okay. So let me ask you this, and this is a side note. Did cabaret ever catch you?
Did Cabaret ever catch me?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I would say like the whole cabaret style is very timeless. And it's something that can never really be replicated because cabaret is live and cabaret is raw and authentic. So, and it's really shaped the course of entertainment, really.
Okay, okay. Now let's deep dive into the current music now. Now, mind you, when you come on a podcast, and obviously I wasn't aware of you until your PR person reached out to me and told me who you were. So I'm
Yes.
listening to your catalog, and then we get to this amazing song, Golden Eye.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is what the audience needs to know and what I need to know. How did this song come about? And how did you like when you finished the song? How did you feel about it? And did you know anything about the heritage of GoldenEye? Not the James Bond portion, but the video game. Did you know anything about that?
Um, it's really funny because I on another interview that I was doing this the host said, "Oh, now you make me want to, queue up my machine or my game box or whatever
Yeah,
and
Nintendo
play
64.
yeah, and play that game." And I knew that there was some sort of like 007 Bond video game. I just didn't know that it was specifically for GoldenEye, but you know, I, now I understand that there was a reason why he said that because we were talking about GoldenEye.
Yeah, and I will tell you this, it is so significant that for 20 plus years the game was just on Nintendo. And just last year you can play it now on PlayStation, on Xbox, and everywhere. So if you get
Hmm.
a chance or you and your friends are somewhere and you got a PlayStation or something, try it out. But it is something historical. Now, let's get to the music. GoldenEye. How did this
Hmm.
song come about? How was it built? What was the anguish inside of it? Give me the emotion behind the song, please.
Um, well, Myron and I, when we sat down, so to say, and evaluated all the Bond songs and what we wanted each of them to sound like in a restylized, stripped down way, we came to the conclusion that GoldenEye should sound like a Peggy Lee's Fever, and it should
Okay.
have sort of that simplistic bass and snap and just that kind of black cat sort of sort of stealth to it. And that's how we approached the song moving forward.
Okay. Now with James Bond music, it's got like a distinctive mood and elegance to it. Now these
Yes.
elements speak to you on a personal level, and I understand that. But when you're recording an album, and the album, we'll do a quick little shameless plug if you don't mind. What's that shameless
Hmm.
plug real fast?
Yes.
Yeah, I need you to give us the shameless plug real quick.
What's the shameless plug?
That's License to Thrill, your new album.
Oh yes, License to Thrill by Kendra Erika coming out February 13th.
All right, and where can they get that item? I mean that album.
You can get it on Spotify, on Apple Music, on all different platforms. So if you just search for it, License to Thrill, Kendra Erika, you'll find it.
Now, will there ever be a physical release,
Physical.
like a CD,
Oh yes, yes. Yeah.
or are you going to be like the people in the early 2000s and put it on a flash drive and sign it and sell it to people? Hey, I've known people to do it. Now, what did it feel like to make this album? You and your producer are sitting there, and you're like, "We're going to get these songs a certain way," but your storytelling. How did you get the storytelling process to work right for you?
Well, I wanted it to be a journey through the decades of Bond, like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and today. So I wanted the journey to be the story to tell because Bond is not just one movie. It covers a whole like a whole like how do you want to say it? Like not tri era, not quattro era, or sync. What's the other one? Like
Yeah,
not
but
like
it's great. It's
what's the next one after? I really want to get this right, so you have to help me out. It's not tri. It's not four. It's not quattro. It's cinco era.
yeah, but it's like and with those movies and everything, that's like a 70 or 80, 70 plus year range on it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So, that's a lot. That's before my time, your time. It was probably
Hmm.
our grandparents' time, great grandparents,
Right.
in the
Yeah.
start. So you go through this and you're making an album. What is the hardest thing you have to do when you have to put a song on the cutting room floor? Like when because the one thing I've never understood, because I'm not a musician, you make songs and it's certain songs that you think are going to make the cut and then they don't make the cut. What is it like having songs that that the world may not hear until you do the deluxe edition, or the secret vinyl version where you can play the music backwards and hear them? Like,
Hmm.
what is it like having music on the cutting room floor from this project that didn't make the album?
Well, there wasn't anything on the cutting room floor because we wanted to keep the floor as clean as possible.
Okay, I appreciate that process.
So, well, I will say that, in like volume one per se, we chose a specific, song lineup and selections. Now, in let's say if and when there's a second volume, then there will be other Bond songs that we didn't use on that album. So, like I said, there's nothing really on the cutting room floor. It's just um we're designating material for each project.
Okay, and I understand that. Now, is there a tour or some type of live interaction that people will be able to have with you in the near future, say when it gets warm again? Or if you're in Florida, it's probably always warm. So,
Well, right now I'm in Los Angeles.
oh, whoa, okay,
I live
amazing.
here in LA and I go back and forth from LA to Vegas, a lot. But the debut showcase of the album is going to be February 15th in Las Vegas. So
Whoa.
that's going to be the big reveal, if you want to put it, yeah, so to say.
Okay, and that's amazing. I was just out there for a video game tournament. I'm a big gamer. I was
Oh,
out
nice.
out
Yeah.
around the down around got on that monorail and rode around a
Mhm.
little bit. Now, here's the thing. After this project's complete, the whole thing, what would be the next thing that would be of interest for you? Because understanding what you said earlier, this is a continued project. This is something
Mhm.
that has a growth, has its own being, has its own way of being what it's supposed to be. But what would be something like a passion project that you would want to do outside of this?
Well, there's actually it's called a place called Home here in Los Angeles, and it's a place for kids to develop their skill set, and these kids come from impoverished families or undocumented families, and it's a center for them to figure out and find what they're passionate about. So they have all different kinds of avenues and departments. And one of those departments is there's a music and performance department. So I'm really looking forward to getting involved with that more so this year.
Okay. Okay. And will there be any surprise appearances for you anywhere? Or are you going to leave the West Coast and technically Midwest and come back to the East Coast to perform? Or are you, or is everything going to be on the West Coast for right now?
Well, in the beginning of the year, yes, but then towards the mid and latter part of the year, then yeah, we'll be bringing stuff back to the East.
Okay, awesome. I mean, I travel all over, but I know some people,
Right.
you know how you get fans and they're in a certain area and they're like, yeah, I'll travel for you about 100
Hmm.
miles or 500. But,
Yeah.
some people are like, I can't go from Virginia to California and back and forth.
Hmm.
That's crazy. Now, what is it like being an artist and knowing that your music is touching people? And when I say that, we're going to go deep into this real quick. And when I say touch people, like, with the sound of Goldeneye, the way that it comes across, it reminded me of like, I went back in time. Like, I felt like, and not the video game, but I'm just talking about the style of how you sing and how you even enunciate on the songs.
Yeah.
It made me feel like Marilyn Monroe was somewhere nearby.
Oh,
JFK,
well,
like
thank you.
it took me back.
Well, it's funny that you say nearby because she's buried like right down the street from me.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
But the nostalgia, how do you have that nostalgia? How do you have that old soul about you and you're not old?
Well, I think it's because my parents exposed me to like the classics when they would have dinner parties or just people over, they would be playing the soundtracks of Phantom of the Opera, Les Mis, Broadway, Andrea Bocelli, Barbara Streisand, Celine Dion. They would just be playing all those classics like Whitney Houston, Kenny G. So I got that ingrained in me at such a young age. And then just driving to places, my dad would always have the Frank Sinatra CDs
Okay.
playing in his car. And then when I got these opportunities to perform at these restaurants and these bars and lounges in Boca, developing and building a repertoire of all those classics just, cemented that appreciation and knowing even more.
Okay. Now, when this new album drops, what are the, because everybody has an A side and B side. That's what it
Right.
used to be back in the day. What would you consider two A side songs and two B side if we were making a cassette still to this day?
Oh, A side.
And remember, A side will be the songs that are going to be the popular commercial type songs.
Right.
The B side are the songs that everybody really loved, but you're not going to put promotion behind them and make a video or anything like that. You know?
Right. Okay. Well, I will say Diamonds Are Forever, GoldenEye, and For Your Eyes Only would be on the A side because they're like the most popular and commercial. And then the B side would be songs like View to a Kill, also Surrender, Skyfall. That would be on the B side. So I have a full understanding of what the what the A side and the B side represents. But those would be my personal choices.
Okay, now what would be the hidden gem? What would be the song that people wouldn't think about just because they heard the interview and heard those 6 songs you just mentioned? What would be the
Mhm.
the hidden gem that you would want everybody to listen to?
A hidden gem, Surrender.
Okay, and why?
And why? 'Cause it's from Tomorrow Never Dies, but it's not the title song. Like Sheryl Crow did Tomorrow Never Dies.
Right.
She did the title track. But Surrender is the outro song. It's the closing song of Tomorrow Never Dies, and it's originally done by Katie Lang. And this
Oh,
song is
whoa.
is really is really a showstopper, and I'm surprised that it wasn't the title track. But I think because Sheryl Crow had a bigger name than Katie Lang, I think that's why they went in that direction. But yeah, this song in particular just outshines Tomorrow Never Dies.
Okay, and I like that. And Katie Lang, for anyone that doesn't know, what is it that people constant craving? Is that it?
Hmm.
Well, that's her. That was her big hit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the one that I think people tie her to, and I know she's had more hits than that, but when we're just talking commercial, at A
Yeah,
side type stuff.
and it's funny because she looks nothing like how she sounds. It's like
Right,
like when I first heard her voice, I was thinking like a sort of like a Diana Krall kind of figure, and then you bring her up, and she's got like the short hair, and she's actually like very like masculine looking,
right. Like she's
and
tough.
yeah, she's tough, and I'm like, oh, it's sort of like when I first heard Sam Smith sing for the first time, singing Latch. I thought it was like this like loud and proud, like big like African American woman just like singing and having this attitude and flair. And then when I looked up who Sam Smith was or who sang like Latch or this particular song, I was like, oh, nothing like how I would envision them. And it's really funny when you listen to people for the first time just by audio, and then you go and see what they look like, and it's like it
Yeah,
can
it's
be
not even night and day. It's like
yeah.
complete 360. Now,
Exactly.
now before we wrap this up, I need you to do me a favor. There's someone in the near future, and there's probably somebody in the past that has been inspired by you.
Hmm.
What would you tell to your younger self that you know now that you didn't know then? And then what would you have your younger self say to your older self now that you've forgotten?
Something that my younger self would tell myself today.
Right.
Okay.
And then your older self, no, hold on. Your older self telling your younger self something,
Okay.
and then your younger self telling you something you've forgotten.
Okay,
I
so
made that hard.
right. Okay, so first me today telling my younger self.
Yes.
Um, I would tell her to stay focused on her, and not get distracted, whether that's people, events or whatever. Like have fun, live your life, but don't get distracted. And then for the younger self to tell me is,
Because what's something from your childhood that made you happy or special that you've forgotten along the way? Because I'll
oh,
give you some
yeah.
filler. I'll give you some filler for instance. For me, for instance, we're very disciplined. We all have a diet. We all, we watch
Mm-hmm.
everything we eat.
Right.
I am 40 years old as of today. I mean, I've been 40 for a while. I have not had a chocolate covered raisin since I was 8 years old.
Oh, really?
Right. And it's not because they're unhealthy or not healthy. It's just, it was something along the way that I lost the taste for it.
Right. Um, well, I mean, at that time, like playing with Barbie dolls and dressing them up was fun, but I think doing that today, I think I would be on some sort of like Dr. Phil show for having like a cognitive dissonance.
All right, so let me give you something a little bit more structured. I'll make it a little bit more niche.
Okay.
All right, what is something that, like a parable or a lesson you had as a kid, that was a motto that you kept, that you had as a kid, that you don't have now, that you wish you had a stuck with?
Hmm.
Like, I'll give you an example out of me. For instance, I used to read a lot, but in this day and age, we have digital stuff, and I was always an accelerated reader, so I don't read books if it's not on a
I'm the
screen.
same. I'm the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's
I'm
not
the
on a
same.
screen, I'm not going to touch it.
Yeah, I'm the same way, but like I kind of miss that antiquated sense of in investing yourself in a story.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes it's bad that I will let, someone read a book to me that's like, an audio book. I would never have done that as a kid.
Hmm.
So I'd be like, I'm not going to listen to some dude read a book or a lady read a book. Nah. But yeah, so we got something similar there. Now, the lasting effect that we need you to put on the world is this, Kendra. What do you want to submit as your legacy? And what do you feel is the past and present portion of your legacy? That was a deep one. Dang, I thought, look, that came off the top of my head. So let's do it like this. Let's make it simple. Well,
Let's break it down.
let's make it simple. In the past, what was your legacy?
In my past, it was, be like the biggest pop star like Kylie Minogue, Britney
Okay,
Spears. But now it's bringing back that sense of like old classic Hollywood.
okay.
Um, and future would be bringing back that old classic sense, that old classic sense of Hollywood.
So I'm going to interpret what you said like this. There was a one time you wanted to be Kylie Minogue, and she was the biggest, and a lot of people sleep on
Oh,
her.
no, and honestly, that's someone that I would still love to emulate and be like because I feel like she's like the most enjoyable of the pop singers out there, and she's like very like classy and stylish. Um and she's not obnoxious, and she's not like in your face
Right.
about it. But I want to like extrapolate some of those elements and then incorporate them and integrate them into my iteration.
And I consider her one of the greatest international entertainers, because
Yes.
if you've never seen her live, which I've never seen her live, but I've seen her concerts,
Hmm.
like, you can tell that new artists now have taken a lot from what she put out there.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Now, we're going to go into the present real quick. The present, you want to take music in a certain feeling and give it an evolution. And you want to keep
Right.
doing that in the future. But the one
Yes.
thing about your future, you didn't put an extra arc on it, because if you're doing the evolution, you've already done an evaluation to do that. So once you get to evolution and you're at a point where it doesn't get stagnant, but we have a plateauing spot,
Hmm.
what is the next level from there in the future? What is next after this? Because imagine your parents raised one of the greatest deductive thinkers on earth. So you're not going to just stop right here. You
No,
always
I know
go.
I'm not going to stop right here, but that's all like I do have a vision for myself, but I also honor God's vision for me as well because I can only live in the present. And as much as like I said in the past, I had this idea to be this particular person or like a Britney, like a Gaga, like all those, pop stars, but then it changed. So, and not necessarily like changed, but it evolved. So the best thing that I can do is continue to stay in the present and let God's vision unfold.
Okay, in audience, I'm going to do my own interpretation of this. This is what she did. She said, "Listen, Jr. This is how it's going to be. God knows the path for me, and I will do whatever He needs me to do to get it to fruition."
Yes.
And I agree with that.
Mm.
Now, The last thing we need from you is your mission statement. We need to know what your mission is beyond. We know the music arc and we know what you want to do artistically, but
Mhm.
what is your mission statement in life that gets you up in the morning and gets you moving, motivates you to put smiles on other people's faces while you're putting a smile on your face and while you're watching smiles be put on other people's faces by your music? That's a lot.
Yeah. You're just like boom, boom, boom. You should be a baseball player. But I think, well, as of this year, starting forward, because last year was a really tough. When I say like really tough year, like people automatically think like down in the ruts, like she's she's going through a lot of things, but it's just for me, I had to shed a lot of past past thoughts, past patterns, belief systems in order to get me to this point, which is anything that fuels me, that makes me happy, I'm going to do. I'm going to do, and I'm not going to allow anything that gives me like uneasiness or makes me like start to shake or gives me like a chakral, um, a chakral, uh, negative reaction. I'm not going to move forward with that. I'm only going to keep things in my life that are propelling me in the most momentous way possible.
And I like that. So kind of like there will be hindrances, but there will be no obstacles.
Yeah, there'll be no obstacles. And instead of me like cowering from things like I used to, I'm just like leaning into them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. Now, is there anybody in your collective, your family, that you would like to give a shout out to, a thank you to? Anybody that needs to get their flowers now, not because anything negative is going to happen, but because you
Mhm.
haven't given them their flowers.
Well, first and foremost, my mom and my dad, they've been so supportive and unconditionally, um, just so guiding and meaningful in my life. And also, another person that actually passed last year is my Uncle Rick. I want to give a shout out to him, a heavenly shout out, because he would always tell me to tear it up.
Okay. And I appreciate that. And thank you for being genuine and authentic in that, because a lot of people, it's not that they get superficial, but they kind of go like, oh man, I want to thank this person, that person, that person. And they're real quick and they're, you told us about your uncle. We didn't know
Yeah.
that. And I don't know if you
Mhm.
mentioned that on any other show, but now we're more personable to the audience and we know just a little bit more about you that you're willing to give to us. So I'm telling the audience, definitely go grab this album, get it across any streaming platform you can, download it,
Yes.
actually buy the album. I don't want you to just
Yes.
stream it. Like go buy the album
Go
if you're
buy
on.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're on Apple, because I'm an Apple guy, get it off Apple Music, but download, buy the album.
Hmm.
Streams are amazing, but streams are pennies on the dollar, and sometimes like a fraction of a cent with certain places. And I know I'm saying this not as an artist, but as someone that has seen it,
Hmm.
and being in the industry. So when you download that album and you have it, it's yours. It's there. It's tangible. When you stream it, it's not tangible. It's not. You don't have that feeling, and you don't have that interaction with
You
the
you don't
artist.
have that ownership.
You
Mhm.
don't have that ownership of it. So please do that. Now, Kendra, before we leave here, I need you to do this for the audience. Give them one more shameless plug where they can actually meet and reach you across the internet, so they'll know how to become immersed in your world and become a super fan.
Okay. You can find me at KendraErika.com. You can find me on Instagram at Kendra Erika, Facebook at Kendra Erika Music. You can find me on YouTube, Spotify, and just Google me.
Okay, and that is amazing. So on that note, Kendra and I are leaving the show. The outro will play. And one other thing I want you all to do, and I want you all to think about this: an artist makes music, and when they're making music, it's a timely process, and they put their heart and soul and everything they can into it. So please take the time and actually download it. Don't, and I know that I'm old when I say don't get it off Napster or anything like that, but don't illegally get the music. Don't use a YouTube downloader and get the music. Let this artist live and be able to continue to make music for us in a creative manner that sets her free and allows her to give a great expression that we all want to hear. So on that note, I am JR and she is Kendra. We are out of here.
And lastly, thanks for listening and tune into the next episode.